Good evening once again. It's great to be back with you, all of our wonderful listeners and viewers, wherever you are. Welcome to the 19th edition of the Issues Room. The Issues Room is an alternative media platform bringing you issues and development from Liberia and the African continent, including the diaspora. Again, we're here to discuss pertinent things that relevant to the continent. Today's discussion will center around why Americans, Black Americans particularly, are moving to the West African nation of Ghana. What are they doing differently than many of the other African countries on the continent, or particularly our own country, Liberia? If you just joined us, we say welcome wherever you are. Invite a friend, bring someone in, your living room with you. Share the screen, share the page, like the page, tell people about the Issues Room, both Facebook, YouTube, and the Issues Room page, where you can pick up signal and hear our broadcast. We come on every um, Tuesday, 7 p.m., and Friday, 7 p.m., which is about midnight now since the time kind of changed around the world. Again, welcome. My name is Volcano Shelton, and let me bring in the great legendary Moses Sandy from
Yes.
Studio B out there in Delaware. Moses, we're back in the issues room. It's the 19th edition. We're aging.
Yes. We are all older men now.
I'm talking about the
Um,
issues room. I'm saying the issues room.
oh, yes. We are older men, and the program is also aging. But for Kenna, it's always a pleasure teaming up with you in the issues room. So let me say welcome to our many viewers and listeners out there. Today is going to be another interesting show. Welcome.
Exactly. Last Wednesday we had an emergency show and we dealt with some issue. I'm not going to go back to it, but just it was an emergency show that we had to hold because a situation came about and we needed to address it. We've taken care of that. The week, the Tuesday prior, we looked at Liberia as a country. Is it a country of laws or a country of men? And we cover extensively some of the reasons why we look at it from both sides, um, whether the laws work or whether the power of men and influence work. But today, Moses, we thought to look at something completely different, um, and of course this whole thought about African Americans relocating to Africa, but mainly Ghana is like the new destination. And just the other day, I checked, Ghana wasn't way better than us, but Ghana
No.
has made tremendous strides over the last 30 years. When we were fighting war, when we were killing ourselves, when we were destroying our infrastructure, Ghana was moving. Again, just before we go into it, I want to encourage you, our viewers, if you're there tonight, start to let us know you're there. Come in the chat room, tell us you're here. We want to welcome you guys. We do that as customary. So, again, let us know that you're here. But as I was saying, Moses, we were killing ourselves and we were destroying our country, and Ghana was moving. But our war ceased since 2003, I believe, and an interim government came in, and then a democratic elected government came in 2005, and we've had stability since then. But
Yeah.
we don't seem to really want to get our acts together, which we'll come to later. But you've already done some research. Um, Tell me up so far what you found before, because we have a video here to support the situation. Um, but tell me just on the surface, what have you researched so far on this topic tonight?
Yeah, and like you said, in recent years, we have seen African Americans relocating to Ghana in droves. Uh, when I was doing the research, and I said to myself, well, a lot of people in Africa are craving to come to the United States on a consistent basis. Now we have African Americans relocating to Africa, specifically in Ghana, in droves. And then I asked myself, I said, well, um, um, Liberia's founding fathers were African Americans. They founded Liberia. So Liberia and America have a quote unquote special relationship. So the question is, why are these people not relocating to Liberia? Comparatively, we noticed that a good number of people have gone to Ghana instead of Liberia, despite this special relationship. So the question that one asks us, what are the reasons? And from what I have seen of Ghana is that Ghana over the year has proven to be a place of stability. The country is safe. The country offers opportunity for growth and development. The economy is viable. Ghana's GDP at the end of the 2021 study shows that by then Ghana GDP will be 58 billion United States dollars. And if you compare that to Liberia, 2021, Liberia's GDP will be at the close of 2021, Liberia's GDP will be $2.7 billion. In 2020, Liberia's GDP was 2.9 million US dollars, 2.9 billion US dollars. So it shows that the economy in Ghana is far better off as compared to Liberia. And that's one of the magnets. That's one of those things that really driving a lot of people, especially African Americans, to Ghana. The tourism sector. Research also shows that Ghana has a developed and attractive tourist sector as compared to Liberia. The tourism sector of Liberia is underfunded and it is underdeveloped. When we talk about healthcare, education, Ghana is far ahead of us. In fact, let me pause and give you the opportunity so you can add on to that.
Well, we were privileged to speak with someone from Ghana, and he was to come on the show tonight, but he's having technical difficulties. So I want to see if I can feed him in through Messenger via phone call and just have him, come in. Hopefully, we can get that done.
Okay.
Yes, his name is Uzondo Isianyi, and
Mhm.
I'll try to see if I can call him from here, and hopefully, we'll see if we can get him. But it's unfortunate. I don't know what's happening, but I think it might be from his gadget. He comes in backstage, but there's nothing, and you
Okay.
know I can hear him or see. So the call is going
But-
through. Let's see if he will pick up. He's on the grounds, and he has a bigger insight
Yeah.
of what's trending in Ghana, and was very much wanting to come to talk to us tonight.
Mhm.
Um, Apparently, he said it been rainy a little bit, and sometimes the rains can be the reasons why. Sometimes connectivity can be a problem. I'm calling. He's trying to come back in the studio, but it's still not working. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if he can hear me.
Yeah. Well,
Zondo, if you can. Okay, now he's here. I'm
okay.
sure it had to be his
Yeah,
phone.
let's bring it on.
Okay.
Let's bring it on.
Yeah. All right. So uh, he still looks frozen.
Yeah, he's not even coming through. I don't see him.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh goodness.
He's not coming through.
Now we're
But look,
praising Ghana, but what happening to the internet? He looks frozen from backstage.
yeah, internet
I mean,
connectivity is not working for him.
yeah. So,
Okay.
but let me keep him back and go to the video. The video
Okay.
will give a broader perspective of. It's a documentary, a short 12 minutes documentary. Will give a broader perspective of some of
Okay.
the
Yeah. So
causal
run
factors
the
why
video. Hmm.
why people are
Yeah.
thronging, especially African
Relocating. Hmm.
Americans. So
Yeah.
let me try to find the video and do that immediately. Um, but yeah, this is a conversation that I think makes all the difference in the world, especially when you think about why these countries are doing way better than our country. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, and it's just unfortunate that we continue to drag and not doing very well.
Hmm.
So
In recent years, a new wave of African Americans and African diasporas are escaping the incessant racism and prejudice in the United States and other Western countries. From Ghana and the Gambia to Senegal, communities are emerging in defiance of conventional wisdom that Africa is a continent everyone is trying to leave. Ghana is the most preferred destination among the many arriving in Africa for a visitor to stay. But why is the high interest for Ghana and not the other countries in Africa? Our video today will look into the factors driving in many African descendants into Ghana and how the country became so popular and the mecca for the African diaspora. Before we continue, kindly take a moment to like this video and also don't forget to subscribe and share the video with friends. So without any further delays, we will start with our first fact, which is Ghana being historically a slave trading hub during the transatlantic slave trade. The Portuguese built the first permanent slave trading post at Elmina on the Gold Coast, now Ghana. The fort eventually passes through Dutch and English hands, and by the 18th century was handling 30,000 slaves each year. According to documented history, between 1650 and 1900, 10.2 million enslaved Africans arrived in the Americas from the 8 regions in Africa used for the slave trade. About 80% of the Africans who were enslaved and transported in the transatlantic slave trade went through the many castles and forts which can be found in Ghana. This comes as no surprise, since there are currently an estimated 40 slave castles, or large commercial forts built on the Gold Coast of West Africa, now Ghana, by European traders, which is the largest number found in any country in Africa. Ghana was the first sub-Saharan country to gain independence in 1957 from European rule. The founding father of the country, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was a strong Pan-Africanist who paved the way for his country to gain independence from British rule. He was the first Prime Minister and President of Ghana, having led the Gold Coast to independence from Britain in 1957. An influential advocate of Pan-Africanism, Nkrumah was a founding member of the Organization of African Unity. Nkrumah's Pan-Africanism journey started during his 12 years abroad pursuing higher education, developing his political philosophy, and organizing with other diasporic Pan-Africanists. While studying in the United States, Nkrumah was influenced by Marcus Garvey, Du Bois, the socialist writings of German political philosopher Karl Marx, German political economist Friedrich Engels, and Russian revolutionary leader Vladimir Lenin. He formed an African students' organization and became a popular speaker, advocating the liberation of Africa from European colonialism. His single-minded desire to make Africa the proud home of all peoples of African descent, dispersed around the world, brought him to work with many leaders and architects of the Pan-Africanist movement, including W.E.B. Du Bois of the United States, George Padmore of Trinidad and Nnamdi Azikiwe of Nigeria. He was one of the organizers of the historic Fifth Pan-Africanist Congress in Manchester, England, more than half a century ago, a congress which proved decisive in the struggle against foreign rule in Africa and against racial oppression in the West, and which demonstrated a remarkable unity between continental Africans and Africans in the diaspora. Not only did he bring Pan-Africanism to its natural home when he returned to the Gold Coast after his sojourn in America and England to lead the independence movement, he also established and sustained until the end of his regime a link between the continent and the diaspora. After helping Ghana gain independence from British rule, Nkrumah made Padmore his advisor and invited the grand old man of Pan-Africanism, Du Bois, to live out his last days in Ghana. This invitation was also extended to Africans in the diaspora to come and live and help build the newly formed African country, Ghana. Nkrumah attempted to form the kernel of his pet dream, the United States of Africa, with Sekou Touré of Guinea, Modibo Keïta of Mali, and Patrice Lumumba of the Democratic Republic of Congo. After Nkrumah's death, his predecessor leaders in Ghana pursued his Pan-Africanism movement and still maintain Ghana as the central point of Pan-Africanism in Africa. Notable among these was the formation of the Pan-African Historical Theatre Festival, commonly known as Panafest, which was mooted by the late Afua Sutherland in the mid-1980s as a cultural vehicle for bringing Africans on the continent and in the diaspora together around the issues raised by slavery which remain suppressed. Ghana home for W.E.B. Du Bois Memorial Center for Pan-African Culture, which is a memorial place, a research facility and tourist attraction that was opened to the public in 1985. It is named in dedication to W.E.B. Du Bois, an African-American historian and founding father of Pan-Africanism, who became a citizen of Ghana in the early 1960s. Ghana also hosts the Diaspora African Forum, which is an African Union-endorsed non-profit organization opened on July 7, 2001, by former President of Ghana J.A. Kufuor. The Diaspora African Forum was and remains the first and only African diaspora organization in the world, with diplomatic status, enabling the organization to accomplish groundbreaking work in diaspora advocacy at the highest levels of government in Ghana and Africa in general. Ghana is the only African country which offers automatic resident permit to African descendant, in a law passed 20 years ago, and termed right of abode. The right of abode is akin to indefinite residence permit. According to the Ghanaian Immigration Act of 2000, the concept of right of abode under the immigration law is that a person having the right of abode shall be free to leave and to come and go into and from the country without let or hindrance. The holder is generally not subject to immigration control and may engage in work or employment without the need to obtain a work permit and leads to citizenship after a few years of stay in the country. This law has no doubt been a contributing factor in attracting many African descendants resettling in the country. Ghana First President Kwame Nkrumah officially invited African descendants to resettle in Ghana after the country gained independence in 1957. Although this wasn't much patronized back then, in recent years there has been an increasing number of Black Americans and Caribbean moving to Ghana. They see it as a place of opportunity, free of the stress of living while Black in America. According to available statistic from 2014, an estimated 3,000 African American and Caribbean descent were living permanently in Ghana. This figure is estimated to have increased to over 15,000 within the last 6 years, making Ghana currently the only country with the largest African diaspora community. In the year 2019, Ghana declared a year of return for African descendants around the world to mark 400 years since the first Africans enslaved were brought to the Americas. In a huge tourism push, the country brought in celebrities from Idris Elba and Naomi Campbell to U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and 12 members of the Congressional Black Caucus. The program helped promote Ghana's image internationally, and it is estimated that over 1 million people from the diaspora visited the country. The Ghanaian officials are building on that upswing with a 10-year program termed Beyond the Return, launched in June this year, to entice people to keep their talents and resettle in Ghana. These successful events have proven to be a great source of enticing many descendants seeking to return to Africa. According to Ghanaian officials, the country is making a pathway to citizenship easier for foreigners and reforming the visa process to make the country more accessible to travelers. It hopes to increase tourists' visits from 1 million to 8 million by 2027. Following the Ghanaian president call on the African diaspora to return home during the year of return, arrangements were made with local chiefs, who offers free lands for the new returnees to settle in the Ghanaian local communities. This initiative have attracted various diaspora groups building up eco-cities in various parts of the country. Popular among this initiative is the 5,000 acres of land offered for free by the Asebu town in the western region of Ghana for the formation of the Asebu Pan-African Village. Ghana is perhaps the only African country with a long stable democracy and healthy economy. This makes the place a safe all-weather travel destination. The country is also one of the safest countries in Africa. While crime may be rampant in some other tourism destinations in Africa, it is an uncommon occurrence in Ghana, and visitors rarely have any problems, regardless of where they travel. Guns are illegal in Ghana, so gun violence is almost non-existent. The country is extremely hospitable to tourists. This is a country where tranquility prevails, even during the elections. All these makes the country attractive to many Africans in the diaspora who want to visit or resettle on the continent. In all of West Africa, there are only 5 English-speaking countries: Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria and Sierra Leone. Of these 5, if one wish for a safe country, stable democracy, and tourism infrastructure, then Ghana is clearly the place to travel. This has no doubt a contributing factor in attracting the many Africans diaspora who are often native English speakers. Ghana is certainly one of the most welcoming country in Africa, and Forbes magazine once ranked Ghana as the 11th friendliest country on earth. In 2017, Jumia Travel, an online travel service, also gave Ghana recognition for being among the most friendly nations on earth. There is no other country in Africa that is so welcoming and hospitable. Her people are truly the #1 attraction of Ghana. So there you have it. Those are some of the major factors attracting the African diaspora to Ghana. As Ghana is offering African Americans and the African diasporas the chance to move to Africa, with government officials telling them to come home and leave a place where they are not wanted. It is the wish of many that the other 53 countries in Africa will learn from the Ghana example and extend a welcoming hand to the estimated 400 million African descendants leaving across the globe, whose skills and monetary power can contribute and help speed development on the continent.
So Moses, there you have it. A whole lot of pickup from, honestly,
A
this
beautiful documentary.
video documentary. But one important thing, Ghana is the friendliest country in all of Africa.
in all of Africa.
Where is Liberia? We are the
Well,
friendliest.
we are
Not
friendly,
the
but
friendliest because
we are not in our category as
no, no, no.
per the documentary.
I'm coming. The documentary said that, but I want to make the case that we are the friendliest. You and I know that the Liberian man will open his door to stranger than he opens his door to his own. It's
That's
happening
true.
right now.
Yeah,
The people in the house on the grounds don't want to give dual citizenship to their own Liberians. They're sitting in our house cussing each other mind every day, but they don't want to. You understand me? Give dual citizenship to their own Liberians. And here, you know, Ghana is offering this to any one of the black descendants.
hmm
All right. And one of the things that I picked up on this video as well is the right of a bold law.
hmm
That law makes it easy for the folks to transition. You come in as you want to stay and you can leave. Nobody gonna ask you a question.
yeah.
You got the right to work
No
and,
work permit.
and you know, or you can leave and come back and then work your way to citizenship in a few years.
hmm
Why we can't do this? You're talking about Ghana has the best tourist destination. I
Yeah.
went to Liberia. I was in Buchanan. I went to Grand Cape Mount County. I saw Lake Piso. I cried. Cape Mount Robertsport is empty. Nothing going on. Moses, it's a shame. It's a shame. And Ghana had her own crisis.
Hmm.
We've had stability for at least the last, what, 18 years.
Yeah. Hmm.
How much does it take? Moses, you and I, how much, how big is Liberia, my brother?
But look,
How big is Monrovia and its environs? Come in.
a very good question, Rakana. The political will, the political will. There are a number of things that are really affecting Liberia. The political will, our leaders, the love of country. Greed is one of those things that are really affecting developments in Liberia. Unbridled corruption. It's all about self, self, self. You talk about tourism for Canada. The Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs, and Tourism manages Liberia tourism sector, but the ministry is underfunded. As a result, where millions of dollars supposed to be coming from remains what? Untapped, undersupported. Lake Piso, a beautiful environment. The Ministry of Information cannot tap into that. No funding. If you look at the 2021 national budget, the Ministry of Information annual budget is a little over $2 million. How do you run government propaganda? How do you run the tourist sector of the country?
Why is the tourist sector attached to the Ministry of Information?
Well,
That
that
is the
has always
irony.
been.
But
That
that's the
that has always
irony.
been, yeah.
And
Hmm.
any sound leader, the tourist industry in itself. Now, I will have to call President Weah's name tonight, and I tried not to, but I will have to. And the reason why I say that, President Weah's wife comes from Jamaica.
Hmm.
Jamaica thrive on its tourism, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they have an autonomous bureau or whatever ministry just on tourism. You come to power, you've traveled extensively, you've seen the things in other countries. Emulate President Tauber when he traveled the world. He emulated what he saw and brought him back. The estates and those things, well, that's something that came out of the clear blue skies. As
Hmm.
he traveled to other countries, he brought back what he saw that was different from what was in Liberia and decided to introduce it.
Yeah.
So, President Weah, you have a wife who came from Jamaica. Jamaica thrive on tourism. Why still keep the Ministry of Information and Tourism and Culture Affairs in one place when they
Yeah.
don't even have any lineage? I don't see where information have a relationship with culture affairs and tourism. They should be completely separate because the only thing that why you have people like Eugene Fagon come here talking stupidness because and again sometimes conversation comes about right because he
Yeah.
didn't even know the function of the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs, and Tourism in
No.
its total. They
No.
only focus on the information part. That's all. And so that's why the tourist industry continues to drag. It has no impact, Moses.
Yeah. We have a national museum. If you go to the National Museum, before I left Liberia, it was located on Broad Street.
But look, that,
Uh,
that museum down there, I mean, that museum there, eh? That
so, so,
museum. I mean,
but look,
you know what? You know what somebody said? Yeah, Thomas Awaji, thank you. He said Ghana have leaders with vision like
yeah,
Liberia doesn't.
I think that's a salient point. Liberia needs visionary leaders, and Liberia needs individuals who are patriotic, not about self. So when you have visionary leaders, when you have individuals who are nationalists, who want to see the country move forward, Liberia will make a difference. Our greatest problem is we do not have people who love Liberia.
No, they don't. Everybody's stealing and bringing the money on this side and buying homes and
Yeah.
taking care of business on this side.
Hmm.
We in the diaspora are working so hard and taking our money and going back to Liberia to
Yeah.
put it in our country. The projects we do over there, we implore people to work for us. People are making US dollars out of our pockets. And the
Yeah.
government officials over there stealing and bringing it here and buying big houses. You
Yeah.
see that you see how what the word
Yeah.
sycophantic it is,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. That,
disservice to the
that
country.
that's a hypocritical aspect
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
the disservice to the country. You
Yeah.
know, so that's the reason why we have everything. Liberia has better weather than Ghana. I'm not kidding
Mhm.
you. I'm not kidding you.
Natural resources as well.
We have more territorial waters. Look at the
Mhm.
length of our coastal lines. I've been to places like Indano, like Little Basso. You see the beaches, man. I mean, you feel bad for your country. Go to Cape Palmas. Go to Cape Palmas. See Hapo. You understand me? And we're
Yeah.
doing nothing in our country.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
All they look for is donor aid and put it in the pockets. And you got people coming here, they giving great and Irish. Oh, the MCC said this and this and that, and the GDP and they just call numbers and figures. In reality, it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
And
It is
and and
laughable.
yeah, just to support the point that you made, if the tourism sector at the Ministry of Information, if the tourism sector can become an autonomous agency
It
with
has to be
adequate
was it
funding, if you can make that sector of the government independent with adequate funding, do you know the number of people that will be flowing to Liberia? Do you know the number of, do you know the millions of dollars that the country will be reaping just
you
from
you
the tourism sector of the country?
and you're right because you know what? When
Mhm.
people start coming, security will improve.
Of course.
The security will improve. Right now, the place is like a gangster paradise, bunch of hustlers hustling. So as a result, nobody cares. You put a high fence up, and that's it. But here, one of the other things that keeps stifling the country: electricity.
Oh yeah.
How long? How much more should Liberians wait to have steady electricity? How much more?
How much so? How
We
much more?
gone for with a stability for 18 years now, and you telling me we cannot provide electricity to Monrovia and its environs? The LEC is corrupt. The people buy the meter and they come, they install it, they put a scratch card in for electricity. The transformer, the one transformer is supposed to serve a certain number of houses. They put everybody on it. The transformer blow up. When the transformer blow up, they don't get curry again on that 3 4 months. They will walk. The community will have to go together, go behind LEC before they can bring one transformer, and then by the time you look, the other transformer. So what kind of country is this? What type of place is this, my man? Nobody cares. Nobody wants to take the the hem of leadership and say, listen, once and for all, we can do this together.
I
We
agree.
just talking Ghana. We even talk about Rwanda.
But look, uh, uh, let's look at the two countries. Uh, Liberia is 101 years older than Ghana. Ghana gains independence in 1957 on March 6, 1957. Liberia gains independence 1846, July 26, 1846 for Ghana. Comparatively, Ghana is 64 years old. Liberia is 101 year old, more than 100 years old. Okay?
Hmm.
And comparatively, let's look at the populations of the two countries. Ghana has a population of a little over 31 million people. And of that population, 1.5% of the Ghanaian population accounts for immigrants. That's approximately 500,000 people. 500,000 people. And like you were saying, there's this story out that Ghanaians are hospitable. They are opening doors to immigrants. In Liberia, when people move to Liberia, the first thing you see at the airport is what? People being harassed. So in an environment like that, how do you attract investors? How do you attract people who have interest in the country? Our system is so terrible. Our immigration laws are tougher. In Ghana, people of African descent, you listen to the documentary, they don't need white permit.
But it's just a matter of being flexible here, Moses. Because
Mhm,
when I hear about the whole hospitability aspect of Ghana, I don't think they're more hospitable than us. It's
mhm,
because we have not redefined ourselves and push our country forward. I know for a fact Liberians are the most friendliest, and next to think about Sierra Leone as well. We're not selfish people. We open our doors, we invite, and that's why a lot of foreigners have been able to thrive and do well in Liberia. You understand me? But we don't like ourselves. That's where the problem is. We don't like ourselves. You have people who just sitting in our house cussing each other just day before yesterday or whatever day it was. They were cussing each other again, cussing each other in our house. The people don't even know why they're there. They're not making laws to move the country forward. They're not putting forward bills to change things that will improve the country. They're not doing that. The executive branch also lack the visionary aspect of things. Take for instance, I give President Weah the credit. He wants to do some things, but is he really asking the right questions and finding the right people to make sure that they can stand up to him and say this is wrong? The guy wants to build a sports complex where we used to practice on the airfield, right there near the Tottenham Boulevard,
mhm.
just opposite the fish market. They're breaking ground to turn that place. Why will you build a sports complex right next to the airport? Why don't you expand the airport, elevate it off the ground, the runway, elevate it off the ground, the ground, and make the runway come straightly from the sea? And the plane lands and fly over. That is the situation at Hartsfield or Jackson Airport in Atlanta. Many of the airports now they're elevating their runways off the grounds because they don't want to tamper with what was already there. But you
Okay.
go to work and you want to build a sports complex right next to the airport. That's
Yeah.
dangerous. That's
Very
dangerous.
dangerous. Very dangerous.
And that airport, the James Brixby Airport, is a very very important airport.
Mhm.
That airport saved Liberia when RIA was dormant, when it was of no use. James Brixby Airport saved Liberia. I came on one of my flights to America from James Brixby Airport. So these are the kinds of things. But when you propose this and everybody say yes sir chief, without saying to you this is wrong, we're misplacing priorities. We're not doing what zoning and because in development you got endorsed. When I studied public administration at the graduate level,
Hmm.
the zoning laws would tell you what consider an industrial area, what consider a residential area. You can't take a Walmart and put it in your community, Moses.
No,
No, you can't put a
because it's not a
Walmart in your
commercial.
community. It's
It's
not a
not a
commercial
commercial
area.
area. Yeah,
Okay, so you can't put a crowded place next to the airport like that, and it's just right under the runway.
and
Why
that's
it's true that this airport may not be functioning now, but in the future that airport can come back to be at least the West African hub for travel. You
mhm.
understand me? And then Robertsfield can remain the international airport. But these are some of the things we're talking about. And unfortunately, we 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 put in money into building a complex, but we don't have electricity. We put in
No,
money to build a 14 military hospital, but we
when
don't
you
have electricity. We
yeah,
put in money to do other things, but JFK is in a hole. So why are we wasting money in the wrong places when we can take what we have already? Because John F. Kennedy Medical Center When I went to Ghana back in 1993, 37 military hospital didn't come compared to John F. Kennedy Medical Center. If anyone wants to challenge me to that, tell me infrastructure wise. John F. Kennedy Medical Center is a beautiful hospital. If we just put all of the renovation money into it and get it back to where it's supposed to be and put all of the different equipment and turn the facility into something way functional.
Hmm.
But we leave our hospital in ruins and we run over to Ghana
To
to get
Ghana.
treated.
Hmm.
The money you taking from your country to go be charged high medical bills when you can fix yours and utilize it. So this is what's happening in our
Yeah.
country. So how would people want to come to Liberia? Even if they change the law today and say everybody come, what are they coming to?
What idea? Our national leaders, uh, they really need to rethink some of their projects, the priorities of the country. Like you rather indicated, do you really need a military hospital or another military hospital in Liberia?
When your army
When
that
you
only
have
200
JFK, when
people,
you have JFK that is in shambles, all you need to do improve JFK, make JFK more serviceable to the people. Do a lot of investment there. But you build another facility and you call it what? Hospital 14. Because that George Weah's when he was playing soccer, that was his number 14, number 14. So everything must be about George Weah, George Weah, George Weah. But is this hospital serving the people of Liberia? The objective for which it was established, is that objective being accomplished? Of course not. The healthcare sector of Liberia is one of the least funded. Hospitals in the country don't have what? Equipment, medications, qualified medical doctors are not there. So then how do you attract foreigners to your country? The educational system is underfunded. Volcano, I took a closer look at the Monrovia Consolidated School System. MCSS operates public institutions in Liberia. And I was looking at the national budget 2020 2021, a little over $4 million. Isn't that laughable? How do you operate Todma High? How do you? How
but
do
he
you
went.
operate D2A?
Did you see when he visited those schools?
Yes, he went
President
to
Weah
he
was
went to
mad.
he
He was
went
mad
yes.
at the education minister.
Mhm.
He was very mad.
He was mad. But I think he was being hypocritical. He was actually shifting blame on the wrong man.
No, you can't say that, Moses.
No, but listen, listen, Volcano.
I
This is
would
where
first
I'm
tell
coming from.
her, yeah,
If
when you
you if
finish,
you if you if you allocate $4 million to run public schools, including high schools, elementary schools, junior high schools, how do you expect the minister of education to fully support the institutions? And what we're talking about here includes what? Salaries, logistics. How do you expect these institutions to function?
but listen now, that man
Yes.
signed up to work and go to the president and say the man they will operate what they want. And the man already can't justify the other day for the LU thing. He said LU are getting 400,000, so the
Yeah.
president took on that 400,000 and they made it 1 million. So the other 600,000, they should be able to renovate things. They should be
Yeah.
able to put this, do bathroom, do all of them. Samuel Tour forgot that we in is
So this
an
word,
age, an age where prices are very very high. How
Mhm.
much is 600,000? The last time I checked in my account, I had $600,000. The last time I checked, what's that? I'm telling you the truth.
but I mean, you got no reason to lie to me. But
You
Volcano,
know, I had six
you
hundred
got no
thousand
lie. I
dollars
mean,
the last
you
time
have
I checked
no
my
reason
account.
to lie.
So
But
you want to
Volcano,
tell me that the whole University of Liberia, you know,
$1 million.
you get in those $600, $600,000 more, and you
Yeah,
get
and you're
happy.
bragging about it.
But let me call Uzondi again via
Hmm.
messenger and see if you'll be able to pick up.
Yeah.
He's done extremely well to really come through tonight, but it's
Okay.
just been one of those crazy nights. So let me see if it will work through. Hopefully he can pick up um and come in. Because I was hoping that everything works out because he's in Ghana
Hmm.
firsthand. He's seeing what's trending there. But technology has a way, man. Sometimes when
Yeah.
you're
Sometimes
being so
technology
hopeful,
let us down.
and now the call is going, but he's not picking up. Okay,
Okay.
he's there. Uzondo,
Yes, sir.
man, listen, I don't know what happening tonight with the technology. We really wanted to bring you in. Uh,
I,
we read some of your perspectives when we posted the promo, and they were just um, so mind
Hopeful.
boggling. We thought to
Mhm.
bring you in. But just summarize for us being firsthand on the grounds in
In
Accra.
Ghana.
Tell us exactly what you see and how many of the black African Americans really come into Ghana, even though the numbers could just be something. But what do you really see, and how are they involved in the economy there?
well, you from the video you played from the onset. I mean, in that video, there were things that touched on the reason why black Africans that are in the diaspora, not only in America but in the Caribbean and other places, are coming back to Ghana. That is because Ghana has Ghana is working on her image. I mean, I think they've been doing that for a couple of years now. They've been working on their image. You see, image building is something that is very, very important. So what they've been doing is creating this environment wherein blacks who are out of the continent can be able to come back to Ghana. So what they did is that they created this law called the Rights to Aborted law, and that law creates the opportunity for any black African who's outside of the continent to be able to relocate to Ghana and then get a citizenship and live here freely. That is one of that's one of the reasons why you see people flocking to Ghana. And then what it did was that in 2019 they had this the entire year was dedicated to encouraging Africans in the diaspora to come back to Ghana. They had the whole year was dedicated to that particular project. They called it a year of return. And as a result, the president gave 120, I think 120 or 126 persons citizenship, and he did it publicly. It was a public event where people attended, and I mean, it was something that alone was an incentive for others to come back to the country, and want to invest here. And we can talk about the economy, right? We
Yeah,
could talk about tourism,
let's talk about that.
you know. Actually, and this discussion, as I said from my notes, there's no way we'll be discussing Ghana and Liberia and this thing. Let's just look at Ghana, right?
Yeah, let's
They've
talk
got a
Ghana.
very good tour. Exactly, they've got a very good tourism sector. The first thing is that the Ghanaians will smile. They've got all their problems, but once you get at the airport, you'll be well received, from the taxi driver to the hotel to the restaurant to the tour sites to the way in which they will explain the history and the activities that led to certain events. When you visit, for example, the Elmina Castle, the way they explain to you the history. And, for Africans who live in America who have not come to the continent, they kind of relate to the story. It touches them a whole lot to the extent where they want to come back to the continent and want to live where? In Ghana. Because it was in Ghana that they learned the story after all.
Mhm.
So the tour guides are well, educated, about how to explain the history, how to put things in perspective. The museums still have all of the artifacts. You can still visit the museum and see some of the materials, like the door of no return, right? There's a place called the door of no return
Yeah,
where slaves enter through to enter the kingdom to leave the continent. All of those things are still there to preserve them just as they were back then. So these are things that people love to come and see. If you want to go to the mountainous region, you go into the mountains, you could hike in the mountains, you enjoy being in the mountains. If you want to go to the beach, You enjoy being on the beach. If you want to go to, I mean, just ride on the river. You enjoy being on the river. There are different sites out, and it's a work in progress for the Ghanaians. If you were in Ghana 5 years ago, if you come to Ghana today, it's different from what it was 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure if you come here 5 years from now, it's going to be different from what it is today. So it's a progressive, it's something that they are working on progressively. Is Ghana 100% okay? No, absolutely not. But they are working to build that image that will encourage people to come back to the country. And one thing they've done lately is that they are creating Accra like the economic capital of the whole West African region. They've just set up the African Continental Free Trade area, right? They have this agreement, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, and the headquarters is in Ghana.
Wow.
Twitter, Jack Dorsey, I mean, announcing on his feed that he's opening his office, his first African office in Ghana. Can you imagine that?
I'm telling you.
That
So
alone,
so
for his
you talk something about image, and image is critical because that's the cell.
absolutely,
That's the cell. Now,
absolutely.
when I listen and watch the video, it talked about Ghana, don't tolerate guns. So
Yeah,
verify in between there will be some petty crimes and stuff, but there's nothing happening on the mass scale like Liberia. Notable people being killed, and the government is still dilly dallying about who did it, and no actual forensic evidence and stories to tell, or bring the culprit to justice. Tell me about the security situation, because that is very critical to image building as well.
of course.
You see, there is no country that is void of security issues. Even where you are in the great United States,
Oh,
there are
absolutely.
problems,
Yeah.
you know. But the thing is, how do you handle these cases as they come up is the issue. So here in Ghana, I won't tell you that you won't hear on the news issues related to, security and people having, manufacture, weapons and stuff, doing what criminals are everywhere. But the police, especially the new IGP they've got, all of the criminals are now hiding because the guy he's not joking. He's just all over the place. He's arresting everybody he's so that is this. They created the environment where criminals are afraid to act because they know what will happen afterwards. Now in an environment where I will do something and nothing will come out of it, that's a difficult situation. So yes, you hear the African American coming to Ghana and then going back to America, having interview on an American network and saying there that he felt safe while he was in Ghana. Then he's in America. You see how it looks like.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see what I mean?
Moses,
Because
you have a question. You have a question for him. I'm hoping he can hear you. Do you have a question, Moses?
Yeah. I would like to quickly find out for him.
Can you
In
hear him?
terms of,
Can you
do
hear him?
you
loud
hear
and
me?
clear, loud and clear.
Moses, ask a
Okay.
question. You can hear you.
Yeah. So, my question to you is that how is the problem of corruption in Ghana?
There is corruption and there is corruption perception. So
Okay.
let's not mix the two. All right. You could have corruption going on, but then you can have corruption perception, where the case where people perceive that there are corrupt practices going on here and there. That
Okay.
is that. I mean, that happens everywhere. You cannot take up Ghana. Ghana is not.
It's
It's
not.
not
It's
in
not
heaven
heavy. Yeah,
actually.
it's not heavy.
No, no. I mean, no
You know.
country
So
is.
if you listen to the news, if you watch the television, even today I was looking at a video where the members of parliament as if they were going to bust up each other. That is normal. These things happen. But look, guess what? These people who are coming to Ghana, they are not looking for those things. They want to go to drink their coconut water on the beach. They want to listen to stories here and there. They don't care about what's happening with the corruption thing. For example, you can sit in the United States and do your due diligence. If you want to invest in Ghana, you could sit in America and know where exactly you will put your money and know the returns on your investment. That is what people are looking for. They don't want to know what is it that government official is stealing and all of that. They care less about those things. But they have a structure. I mean, the institutions are built around the institution, not people. All right. So they got institutions where you could go and know where to invest your money and the returns on your investment. These are the things that investors and people coming to the country are looking into. They really don't care about I mean, we all know that these things will happen here and there. And, people are imperfect. They will steal money here and there, but it's not on a large scale. All right, it's not everywhere. People are afraid because they are deterred. You know that if you steal and if it comes out, something's going to happen. Look, I was in a car and an officer was offered something and he refused. And when I asked him why, he said, "My man, we live in the age of technology. Somebody can put me on WhatsApp right now and I'll be in problem." And I said, "Wow," and that's true.
So that means
So
the
people are
society
afraid
is
to
conscientized
Okay.
at this point.
absolutely.
and and
People are people try to use
we talked about corruption from the foundation. Always people look to the top of the roof, meaning the higher ups, but
exactly
it starts from the ground,
It
and
starts from the
from the
ground.
everywhere.
foundation. And so that police officer or whoever is from the ground
You know,
level,
you
and he's conscientized.
he knows very well that somebody can easily just video him, and it will go viral,
But
and that's a
I
problem.
have two questions for you. Before
Yes, sir.
we take leave of you, and Moses will come back with one. Two of those questions. It's always been the standard around the Ghanaians put themselves first. They don't embrace foreigners. And now I'm hearing that, oh, they're friendly, they're the
They
best
are
place to
friendly,
go.
yeah.
Is it only
Hospitality.
because they're African American, they're giving them free land, they're giving them citizenship, and so all of this praise is going on? Because some of the research I did, accordingly, uh, our world today is so globalized that you have different types of genders, and they've not been very friendly
Exactly.
to the LBGT population.
Community.
They also
Yeah.
the chiefs are not willing to give some of their lands out because they don't want uh people coming into their lands that they've lived on forever and just getting thrown at what they would consider foreigners. The
Mhm.
last part of this, you were explaining on that. The last part of this, do you see that this has a correlation with the push to get the Budamburan camp extinguished as a result of the lands that the government have asked the chiefs to give back, so that it can be able to develop? Is this part of the reason why? I won't call it a scheme, but I would call it one of the reasons why they're trying to just get rid of Budamburan as part of the land
Uh,
given, from the chiefs to give for development purpose?
I will start with the latter and then end with the former.
Thank you.
If you just come to Buduburam, right, and then you put up a drone and you fly over Buduburam, anybody seeing those images will want to just carry a yellow machine over there and just put everything down.
Okay.
Period.
So
Because
so
if you look at the
it's not as so developed as people made it to seem.
It's not
you
attractive.
know,
I think
and
that's the message is conveying.
if you go to the immediate neighbor, I mean, how I call it, immediate outskirts of Buduburam, you will see these beautiful buildings going up every day. But right in this small little place, people say, "No, we want to be here. We enjoy ourselves."
Okay.
you,
Okay.
you, you, you see the situation.
Yeah.
So listen, it's a very difficult situation because it's not just about Budibram Liberians. No, there are now Ghanaians. In my own estimate, 62%. 62 or so percent of that of the place is populated by Ghanaians. I mean, Ghanaians occupy this place. So it's not just about people. It's about the development of the place. For example, we have a rainfall, just little rain, the place is flooded. The environment. If you take a tour of certain places, you want to just eliminate the place. But now, people are living in there. There are children living there. People are struggling to survive. So all of those things, it's a very difficult, situation to handle. So let's put that to one side. All right, the issue about being protection and protectionism. Look, everyone wants to protect what is theirs. Everybody.
Hmm.
If you buy a piece of land right now in Liberia, Shelton, you want to protect that piece of land. You don't want anybody encroaching on your land for an inch. You want to make sure your land is protected. You want to have it on for yourself. So the issue of Ghanaians not being open and not being friendly, personally, I can understand why people say they're selfish, and I can understand why everyone want to be selfish. Everybody have that little bit of selfish attitude in them. But with all of that selfish attitude, they're still inviting people to come over, and people are coming. So you see, they will tell you Aquaba when you come to the country from the airport. They will be smiling. So the thing is, for people visiting the country, you won't see certain things. All right, certain things will be hidden to you. You won't see certain things like Ghanaians are not friendly, they are selfish. You won't see all of those unless you live here and you probably interact with the people and you bump into them every day. And, but it depends on how you relate. It's not just Ghana, actually. Everywhere you go, it depends. The way you relate to people is the way they relate back to you. So yeah, they protect their economy. If you're coming to invest, you have to have a certain amount of money. They have to know that you have the capital to invest. They will do their due diligence. You won't just come in and just run all over the place. They will make sure you employ Ghanaians from the top to the bottom. You won't have, foreigners over the counter selling. You won't have foreigners changing tires.
Like the one we got in Liberia, the housekeeper
So,
manager at Royal
if
Hotel and Boulevard Hotel. They're from the
I mean,
Philippines.
you enter a store in Liberia and you have 15 Indian guys in the store selling, and two Liberians. I mean, I came on the show not to kind of compare, castigate stuff. I just want us to draw on the good example of Ghana
Yeah,
and see where we could learn some of these things. Look, there is something that we miss in Liberia, right? And we tend to downplay.
tell
The
us.
protracted Liberian civil war damaged that country. It shattered the country. Let's not forget. Yes, it is true that the war ended many years, ago, but the war was it damaged the country. It look.
So let me say
I
this.
left Liberia in 19.
Let me say this quick.
Go ahead.
You you have the Ghanaian leadership. They come to power and they're really about the country. On the other hand, in Liberia, after the cessation of the war, the government that got the most aid is the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government. But what can she show for it? She brought most of her friends, kids, and cronies and brought them to Liberia and paid them lucrative salaries. Lucrative salaries. How much did Ellen put back into the economy? The debts were waived. How much did Ellen put back in? Because the leaders in Ghana was about the country. So the heirs they got, they used it. If those guys were building their own private properties, then Ghana wouldn't be where it's at. So let us not
I was
continue to
listening.
blame the war.
I was. I agree. I was listening to this member of parliament, right? And he was asked a question: how many houses do you have? He said, I have about 100 plus houses in Ghana. A member of parliament saying that.
Yeah, he worked hard and he
Yes,
put it into real estate.
exactly. He worked hard and he invested in the country. Now, let's look at Liberia. Who voted Ellen into power? They were not the trees in Liberia. They were not the stones. They were people. People who thought that she would do, the best for the country. And Shelton, listen to me. If you went to Liberia in 2005 and saw what Liberia was then, and saw what Ellen left of Liberia, I agree that we would have done way more than,
Way more than that.
yeah.
Way more than
But my dear brother, we did something. That was the first government post-war. And listen, we are going to be fixing Liberia for the next 50 years. This is something that we should not forget. We cannot put this to the doorstep of Weir. We cannot put this to the doorstep of Ellen. This is a collective. The same way Liberians tend to say we all are guilty for the war, which most often I don't agree, but it's like we have accepted that we all are guilty for the war that happened in Liberia. We all should find the solution. We should look for the solution. The priorities in Liberia are so many. They are so many. You will wonder where to put the money. Should I put the money on roads? Should I put it on hospital? Should I put it on education? Should I put it on electricity? Should I put it on pipe-borne water? Should I put it on? And the problem about Liberia is that we broke down the backbone infrastructure. We dug out the pipes. We dug up the wires. We took out the machines with the generator from how you call it, bomb mines. We stole the generator, the power generator. We went to White Plains. We damaged White Plains. So
Ecomo
you see,
looting the country. They were
you
carrying
know,
gunpowder and all.
as a result of the war, so the backbone infrastructure it got shattered. So to put that backbone infrastructure in place before you even start talking about putting the meat, to build a country, it's not going to be today. It's not going to be Ellen. It's not going to be Weir. It is probably not going to be the next 2 terms of any president that's
Yeah,
going to
but
come.
you
It is
know, the truth here is, if these guys can just quit corrupting the country,
But
stop the corruption,
well,
we can move
well,
forward.
we could talk about corruption and the perception of it, right? Yes,
but
people are
look,
corrupt
uh, uh
everywhere.
Come in, come in.
Zono,
Yeah, I'm
Zono,
following.
let me just come in a little bit. The point Volcano is making here is that when we speak about corruption, we're not talking about people being worried about somebody, taking $1 or $2 from them. But we're talking about the enforcement of the laws.
Exactly,
Policies put in
exactly.
place.
It is not about.
Yeah.
It,
So let
go
me
ahead.
just complete. Policies put in place by our national leaders to ensure that individuals coming to the country to or to do business, those people are protected. But in Liberia, the situation is the irony. The culture of impunity has caused a lot of people to suffer, losses. People make investment, people dupe them, they go to court, the criminal justice system doesn't help them out. The guys who are enforcing the laws, they themselves, they are so corrupt to the point that even if you go to the court, someone wants you to give a kickback before your own case can be heard. So, well, all of these things, it makes life real difficult for the average Liberian, and also make lives difficult for individuals who want to do business in the country. Now, in Ghana, where you live, do you see something like that happening? That was the question I asked.
Absolutely not. And here's the reason why. It is because of strong institutions. I will talk about the elections that just happened here in Ghana last year. They had elections, and a certain party was not satisfied. They didn't go to the street and fight. They went to the courts because they believed in the courts. And when the courts rendered a judgment, they all accepted, although they were not happy, but they accepted the results from the courts because they believe in the courts. So when you have strong institutions, yes, your country is on a better footing. But if you have strong men, then you're in problem.
And that's what happened in
So
Liberia.
so if we start to invest in our institutions from bottom to top, then we'll start to do something. So it is about reforming the courts. It is about cleaning the law. Laws have life. I always say laws we should be able to change laws. Laws that work in 1960, 1970, 1980 might not work in 2000, 2000, 2010, 2015 coming forward. So we have to periodically change policies, change some laws, amend some laws, that will make institutions stronger. That way, we will let's look, for example, at this citizenship thing you people were discussing. How in a world will the country be possible? Why? Why should that even be happening?
Ah, we're losing
Yeah.
him. And
Saying that you are not welcome
okay,
because the law says so. Laws, I'm here.
yeah, go ahead. We lost you a little bit.
Am I coming through loudly?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So sorry about that. So I was saying this thing is about institutions are built around policies and laws. All right, most of the institutions you see existing, they were built by other act of law passed by parliament, and the details are in there about how these institutions are supposed to work and what they can do, what they cannot do. So if you come into an institution and you want to do what you feel like doing, it won't work. You have to follow the law. Once you follow the law, even if you make some mistakes, you might be considered because you'll say, oh yeah, he tried his best, but he made some mistakes here and there. But if you come and throw the law totally away and want to do your own thing, then it becomes difficult. So these people here, they try to build the institutions and they don't want to stick You see, something that investors look at is, as you said, is stability. They want to put their money somewhere where they know they will get it out and it can turn around. So countries where they have periodic elections and the results come out without problems, yes, they will put their money into that particular country. And Ghana has been on that trajectory for some years now. So investors, for example, are still looking at Liberia. We had Ellen, she had 2 terms, she left. We have another president whose first term is, going to his end. They will be worried. So what will happen, when the elections come up? They will be a little bit jittery because they will still be observing to see the wait and see attitude. And we Liberians, we kind of like shoot ourselves in the legs with the way we build our own image and the way we destroy it. So, I mean, all of those things are things that we need to look at it as a collective. So yes, I would say here, look, again, Ghana is not heaven, right? And I'm not, I'm not, kind of like advocating to say Ghana is all rosy, but they are working. The media, for example, the work people are doing here in Ghana, the media is vibrant. The media, they pick up issues, they discuss it from the bottom to top, they leave nothing out. You talked about the issue of LGBTQI plus plus plus. Well, this is a debate that has been going on and it's turned political. So I wouldn't get into that, because it's a political debate. People want to legalize certain things, they want to make certain things illegal. The debate is already in parliament, so I'll leave that to them to handle. As a person, I know my preference or my sexual preference. I know what I choose, for myself. So I can speak for myself. So
Thank you, thank you,
it,
thank you so much,
so
man. Listen, thanks. We got to let you go.
thank you.
Uzondo Isyanyi, you did extremely well for us. We said thanks so much for coming in tonight. Your perspectives were very
Yep,
helpful. Coming from you firsthand, we will come back to that Budubura conversation again sometime in the course of
absolutely. I hope by that time I'll be well, settled with my networking. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much for having me.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. It was a
Thank,
pleasure to have you,
thanks
sir.
for staying up so late. You
Thank you.
you did extremely well for the issues room. Share the word, my man. Tell the people about us. Yeah, there's a caller calling here. Hello, caller from 7856. Can you lower your monitor in the background?
Oh, let me see. Yeah, this is River Pro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, River says, bro.
Yeah.
well, welcome, Rivers.
Yeah, how you doing?
My man,
Good. We okay?
we're talking again about the things that matter.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting. I mean, your topics are always informative. And like I said, day-to-day activities that affect our lives. But before I ask my question, I just want to say something about what our caller said. I mean, we must admit that every society cannot be perfect. Recently I saw a demonstration in Ghana, the very Ghana that we praise every day, and they were demonstrating for the same things that we demonstrate for. I mean, in Liberia, healthcare, the foreigners are taking over the economy, and they got more Nigerians working than they got Ghanaians, and I was shocked. I said, "Well, hold on, this is the Ghana that we Liberian people admire so much. They are the model of democracy." And the model, I wouldn't say perfection, but the model of decency
Good
in some
governance.
region that every Liberian aspire to. How come they are demonstrating for a lot of these things? They were even saying that there was no hospital bed in some of their hospital, and then I just retrospected on JFK Hospital. So I think every society has their ills. Every society has a problem. So I think
I mean, you
that's the
listen.
part.
That's a good point you made. But when you just call Nigerians, my man, the men are taking all Liberia too, and you know what they're bringing? You they're bringing the 419. They're bringing the drugs, my man.
Yes,
Yeah, so maybe that's why the Ghanaians are complaining because you're not coming to help the country. You're coming to infuse, crime and bring drugs and stuff. Even very much here in America, Nigerians, a lot of them don't. A lot of the guys don't have good character regarding some of the things
yeah,
they do. But let's come back to Liberia in particular. I know you're
yeah,
talking from a CDC perspective, and you're trying to tell us that there's crisis everywhere. We agree there's crisis everywhere, Rivers as Pro, but come on, man. We haven't done much with ourselves, man.
Oh
Everything
yeah, sure.
we blaming it on this war that been gone long ago. When are we gonna wake up?
Yes, that's true. It's not just the city. I mean, look, I mean, people know me. I'm a kind of like a moderate city. I mean, I'm not one of those
You're
kind
not
of people that would see the
you're
two.
not the
Yeah.
Eugene Fagon Sidisha,
No, 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 no.
okay.
Me, I'm a strictly we are fanatic. I just believe in we are in everything he has achieved in life. You know, when he, I mean, doing his professional career and when he became a president, people say, "Oh, I said, but you can just." I mean, okay, Moses, whatever Moses, I mean, renowned journalist. If Moses decided to go into the presidency, I'm not going to say, "Well, Moses, you know what? I only know you could be a journalist. Oh, I'm going to abandon you." You know, so that's the kind of situation that people like us in. But I don't aspire to a lot of those things they do over there. But I wanted to ask you guys, like, you know, Ghanaians are, you know, a lot of, I noticed a lot of African Americans, they are linking themselves to Ghana. Oprah Winfrey had an institution or school in Sierra Leone. And when you look
No,
at our
it's
history,
South Africa.
sorry, South Africa, South Africa. If you look at our history, we seems to be more tied to the, you know, to African American than those other people according to our history now. So why is it that I have noticed here like a lot of those celebrities, a lot of those stars, a lot of those black African, you know, black celebrities, they don't. I mean, they hardly mention Liberia. Is it that they don't know the history or? I mean, what is really going on? Because I see them going to Ghana, they're going to South Africa, they're going to Nigeria. You know, I work with some of these guys. You know, they actually are you from Nigeria? They never mention Liberia. So, what is going on? I just want to ask you guys, why are they find? I mean, why is
Thank you,
it?
thank
Why
you.
are
We
we
got a
finding it
question.
difficult to attract them?
We got a question. Let me come in, and then Moses will come in. The caller who was here just now talked something about image building.
Hmm.
Since after the war, Liberia has not rebranded. You understand me? I don't know what's that noise in your background, but
Yeah,
it's a
just
lot of
noise.
noise.
I think
Yeah,
someone's playing.
yeah,
Someone's playing.
yeah. There's a lot of noise.
Okay, yeah.
So as I was saying, we have not rebranded. Prior to our civil war, or prior to probably the 1980 coup, Liberia was the beacon of hope in Africa. Liberia attracted some of the best millionaires in the country. You understand me? And and today we are a laughing stock because we have not rebranded. We've not been able to utilize the leadership. You know, our leadership has not been able to utilize the image rebranding aspect of our country. The other part to that, we talked about some of the ills our society is faced with. We have a country where the laws are not respected, policies are not enforced. Men who perpetrated heinous crimes against the Liberian people are in the corridors of leadership in our country. We have not been able to sell ourselves, and that's the reason why. Now, but if you look at the construct of Liberia, it doesn't mention in history that Liberians or the people from Liberia was taken out of Liberia across. It shows the Republic of Ghana. It shows the Gambia. It shows Senegal, but it doesn't show Liberia. Now, repatriating back to Africa is what they show. So there's when you look at the history, it doesn't show where the slaves were taken from Liberia. It shows where the slaves returned, and we have not been able to brand ourselves, and our image is horrible right now. Honestly, if an international, are you there? Roses Pro, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I just,
Okay, good.
yeah, I just put it on mute so you haven't heard the noise.
Yeah, good. So if an international envoy calls Liberia the dirtiest city in all of Africa, then that speaks volume. Come in, Moses.
Yeah, you said almost everything, and Robert says, what I would like to say, like Volcano is saying, one of the foremost challenges Liberia has in terms of our image is bad governance. You know, our society over the year has proven to be a place of men, but not of laws. So nobody is going to go to your country to invest where the investment will not be protected. When the issue of rule of law is pushed aside, So Liberia has to do a lot of work on that. If people will have to gravitate towards Liberia, then the rule of law has to take center stage. Most of our political leaders are individuals who committed, heinous crimes in our country. A good number of them. They committed heinous crimes in the country, and today what? They are walking around free. The culture of impunity. So who is going to go to a country to invest his or her money when the crime occurs? Nobody gets punished. So how do you expect to protect these people? Unless we take care of the problem of the culture of impunity, holding our political leaders accountable, holding criminals accountable, it will be difficult for people to gravitate towards Liberia. Uh, Unbridled corruption. Our political leaders, a good number of them, are primarily concerned about themselves than the welfare of the country. Mr. Weah himself demonstrated that. When he took over Liberia in less than 6 months, he put up what? Multiplicity of homes on dubious circumstances. So when you do this kind of thing, then you create image problem for the country. You create image problem for your government. And what we're talking about is not unique to George Weah. Other past leaders also did the same thing. So we have to do a lot of work on fighting graft. When we do all of these things that we have just spoken about, I think Liberia will do well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Moses.
Mhm.
I know that. Yeah, before I leave, the points you got made, everything is 100%. I agree, but my only little reservation has to do with the English that we cannot talk about because in the United States here, we Liberian refugees or immigrants, we are more adaptable to English. So when I came to the United States, they sent me to this ESL class. They had
No, no, no. I didn't
everybody.
say no. I didn't say English. I said image, image
Oh,
building.
oh, sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
My bad. I
Rebranding.
thought you
We
said
need.
our English was cool.
No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
no, no. We need to
Russell's
rebrand.
Pro, man, you speak good
Okay,
English.
okay.
No, no. We need a rebrand.
Yes,
We need to
Yeah, you
go back
speak
absolutely.
to
good
the
Yes,
English.
days when Liberia was the beacon of hope, when every
yes,
other African citizens ran to Liberia to get visa to come to the United States, when the U.S. dollar
absolutely.
was the it. All right. Today we're just it's just we're just a laughing stock. So that's what it is.
Yeah,
But
we
thanks
are.
so
We
much,
are.
my man, for
Absolutely.
calling.
Okay.
We appreciate your
Okay.
time. Go back to work. Listen, my man, you
I know.
pushing no hours. We'll talk. So Moses, when you think about it, I think the fact here is Liberia can get back to that point.
Of
But
course.
everyone we're talking to prior to these conversations and the people who are charming and talking, they're telling us exactly leadership, leadership,
Leadership
leadership.
is
Moses,
critical.
that's all it boils down to.
Of
Put
course,
the right people
leadership.
in places, rebrand,
Mhm.
revamp, rethink. Leaders are innovators. Leaders are innovative thinkers.
Hold people
Leaders,
accountable.
leaders are trendsetters.
Mhm.
You understand me? And unfortunately, we having this serious, serious, serious situation. And you
Mhm.
got one or two men that come in and just talk numbers and make big noise, but the reality sets in. The reality sets in. Let me recognize some folks here tonight. Samuel Sakama rather. Samuel Sakama, welcome, welcome to the Issues Room. Seem to be your first time. Make it your hobby. Thomas Awaji, welcome. We appreciate you coming. Rebel says pro. You made your contribution. Tony and Brooks. The line's open. In fact, I didn't post a number. I see what people kind of because we had our man, from Ghana, chiming in with us here tonight. Um, Kawu, yeah, welcome. It's good to have you in the house. Um, Trying to get to some of these names here tonight. Okay, Kandakai Masale the second. It's good to have you, Oliver Sodua. He said, "Let us go home and make Liberia what we wanted to be." But listen, we want to go home, but if our own country telling us we're foreigners, then what's there? Emmanuel Jackson, all the way from Massachusetts. Hamilton Zilly, we say thank you for joining us tonight. Janet Bendu Bien, all the way from LA, as in California. Precious Carolyn Smith, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Florence Tiller, uh, Ekundayo Dixon, my man, the Liberian historian. Welcome to the show. You're always giving big perspectives on very big and informative perspective on the situation of Liberian history. Philip Bala, good evening and welcome. Richardson N. Pay, we say welcome. And Blake Moore, that's Ann Payne. Now, Moses, I'll take a pause here. Ann Payne is the reason why I'm a journalist. Yes, this is the lady who discovered me in
Okay.
at the end of 1990. I used to do, high school stuff, uh,
Yeah.
you know, but this night I was, and probably that's why Fagon said I was a radio DJ. But I started from a humble beginning. I started as a DJ. I
Yeah.
was DJing in a place in Smyrna Taste, and she had come around and stumbled on me and said, "Wow, you have a beautiful voice." Um, and she was kind of related to the former President Tiller, and said, "I
Yes.
will have you meet him, and we'll go from there." And of course, she made it happen. I met
Wow.
Tiller one on one. We sat one on one, and that's how I started at 89.9 FM. So, Ann
Okay.
Payne, Blake Moore, I want to give you a credit. You said I was going to be one of the finest to come out of Liberia, and your vision, your dream for me came through.
True.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for the opportunity. Even though I'm in different career path, but this is like the first love that we cannot go away from. So thanks for
Okay.
being here tonight, Anpine, Blake Moore. We appreciate you so much. Darius Kai, St. Patrick's, Uzondo Isionyi, all the way from Ghana, who came in here
We'll
tonight and
call
joined
him.
us in the issues room. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. Seba Gruate, good evening. Lofa Julius, thank you for joining us. Um, I hope your platform is going well yourself. What's my man? Mike Thomas Fambule, Prince Murphy Jacobs, good evening, welcome. Raymond Clark. Those were the folks here with us tonight, Moses. If you just joining us again, this is the Issues Room. The number is 404-272-2808. We'll extend for at least another 15 minutes, so we'll leave you at 8:45, Moses. So if you guys
Yeah.
want to call the topic, why are African Americans, black African Americans, moving to Ghana rather than Liberia, rather than Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and many of the other African countries? Of course, those countries are English speaking countries, the Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. But they all are going to Ghana. We laid out some of the points. We had a guy who's from Ghana. The video we show also laid out some of the reasons why, and we're
Mhm.
also telling you why those folks
Why?
are looking at Liberia
Mhm.
and what the expectation is for the Liberian government to begin to rebrand itself, create image building, you know, uh, apply the rule of law, respect the court's decision,
Mhm.
uh, put in the kinds of infrastructure, electricity, water, telecommunications, you know,
Improve
health.
healthcare sector.
Yeah, healthcare, because it's very important. A healthy society is a healthy nation. Those things that are very paramount, and we can't continue to say, "Oh, the war destroy everything. The war destroy everything," and give it as an excuse. We should be moving forward and not looking back. Moses, coming.
Yeah. You said it eloquently, Volcano. Like we're talking about corruption. So now you tell me there was this publication today, or I mean yesterday, in one of the leading newspapers, which quoted the U.S. ambassador as saying
Absolutely, I saw
the
that.
headline was, "We are tired with your corruption." So can you imagine with such a headline going global? Do you think any investor will want to take money to Liberia to invest? That's not the kind of image that you want out there. So that's why it is imperative that we do well in the area of good governance. Good governance is critical if Liberia is to win the hearts of people. Our political leaders will have to hold the corrupt in the country accountable. And they themselves will have to hold themselves accountable because it would be hypocritical to go after the layman who is in the street, serving as a police officer. When the director of police himself, I'm just being hypothetical here, when the police director himself is doing something shady, so the law will have to apply to the letter. It is important, you know, make improvement in the area of what? Education, healthcare. You spoke about illiteracy earlier. Again, the U.S. ambassador was in recent time quoted in the news as saying that 50% of the electricity generated by LEC goes to what? Power theft. That is not a news that people abroad want to hear. Because we cannot, if in fact you go to Liberia on a consistent basis, you already used to electronics, you used to being a very hospitable environment. You don't want going to Liberia and finding it difficult to even turn on your laptop because you don't have no running electricity.
But I worry
We
how
need
we'll
to
do
do
the issues
better in
room.
that era.
I'm worried how we're gonna do the issues room when I make my trip. I have been worried, but you know what? And the ambassador is right because LEC itself is corrupt to itself.
Okay.
LEC LEC has no standards. I tell you, it's just about a month now that they
Yeah.
said that they're taking stringent measures that anyone caught stealing electricity will be persecuted.
Hmm.
So everyone now should pay for the electricity. But the
Okay.
very electricity you're telling people to pay for, you can't provide it.
You can put out. Then how do
So
you
people
expect
go
them
and
to
buy
pay?
the electricity scratch card, put it in the meter, and
Hmm.
then no current. That's
Wow.
the problem. The problem is starting from LEC. They go to work and put one meter, or not meter, transformer
Transformer? Yeah.
in one neighborhood. Only a certain number of houses supposed to be on it. But the other guys in the field come back and hook other communities on it, and then the transformer get overloaded, and then it explodes,
Okay.
and then it goes off. So that whole community plus the other community, other than in the dark.
Hmm.
Then when the people wait for the meter, 3, 4 months, no electricity. But the government officials around are enjoying the generator and the bluffing with the current.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Of
What
course,
type of
more
country is
crime.
this that people can do things right?
Hmm.
People cannot do things right in Liberia. And it's the simplest thing to do. To do something right is simpler than doing it wrong. I'm telling you, Moses,
I
from
agree.
my own literacy and intelligence, to do something right is simpler than doing it wrong.
It makes your job easier.
We can't do nothing right. You go to buy land, the man I said the land to 5 people. You
Yeah.
were the first man because you didn't put foundation down. The next man who can put foundation down,
They mess up
they
the
say
same
that
land.
man should own the land. Then
The
you're all in
same.
court. Then the,
Yeah.
the very court you expect to help you, they're telling you say, the judge say, the judge say, the lawyer say, the lawyer say. By the time you finish bribing, if the land ain't worth it.
Of course.
The land is not worth it. We are bad to ourselves. That's the thing that can hide me. Liberians are wicked to themselves. Very, very wicked people to themselves.
Yeah.
You understand me? How can we move forward when we're wicked to our own selves? You struggle here, you send your money to your family. They take the thing that you're picking up off the ground is on apple tree or money tree, and they don't do well.
They diverted to
Time you
something
take to
else.
invest 2 months to go to Liberia, buy a plane ticket, fill up your suitcase with gifts and stuff. Then you got to sustain yourself in Liberia. You got to have automobile. You got to have a decent place to stay. When you accumulate all that expense, it's almost $10,000.
Yeah.
What's left to do the project? What's left to do the project? So
Nothing.
that $10,000 you could stay here if you had honest family members, honest friends to
And
put
just
that
send the
money
money
into
to them.
investment, and then they themselves will eat once everything, come to fruition. But if people don't delay rather gratification, they want to eat up front. They want to
Immediate.
eat at the expense of the man hustling here who's struggling. You and I work here, we want to send it home. And we know that because one day we'll get old, we'll go back, and we want to be able to thrive in our country. But in the same token, our family will be at our doorsteps. But
Yeah.
they're not looking at the future, they're looking at it now. So we're just so wicked to each other, my brother. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
problem. How can we move this country forward? How can we move this country with this deceit, wickedness, this ingrained wickedness, deep
Yeah.
seated? I meant to say deep seated wickedness. That's
Yeah.
the problem of Liberia.
Yeah.
Few
Systemic.
people get into position, they embrace it like they're gonna die holding on to it. That's how they do.
Yeah. Systemic problem. Systemic is at every aspect of the society, in the homes, in the churches, in the communities, in families. And I'm sure you and I will agree with this. Back home, you give money for food, and the woman diverts a certain portion of that money to something else, and she comes and tell you, say there's no food. But hey, I just gave you money to buy food. Oh, the food was insufficient. So if you use the money intended for food for something else, say it means that you are already cheated the family, right? And when you start cheating the family as a mom or dad, human behaviors are learned. Your kids learn the same thing and they begin to do the same thing. You go to church, it's the same problem. You go to our community leaders, it's the same problem. So we have, you know, a problem that is so ingrained in the society. Dishonesty is so ingrained in the society. Everything is about somebody trying to cheat.
That-
Someone gets an opportunity to serve in government. The first thing the person is talking about, but where is my choppy? But here we give you opportunity to work, and you're talking about choppy. Go
you
and
tell
do the job
you
first.
tell me, Moses. Our employment in this country, I've been working since 1997 in America. Since
Yeah.
97. I have had no means to be corrupt because the environment don't even provide that.
No.
I work diligently and
Mhm.
I've grown through the ranks and file to where I'm at today, and I'm very grateful. Hard work, honesty, dedication, the passion to serve, and those are the attributes that make you a better leader.
Of course.
But you look at the construct of some of the governments we put in place, guys who could barely afford a pair of shoes, came from nothing, and then you put a guy in a
A position of trust. Yeah.
big position with no skills, no work experience, all because of political affiliation. What do you expect? What are you going to get out of that person?
Nothing.
The man don't even have the dedication to come to work.
No.
The man don't even know how to turn his laptop on. He doesn't even know how to research or find innovative ways to make his department or his ministry or anything more
To
functional.
function
First thing he
effectively.
wants to go on a presidential trip. Oh yeah, he want to be with the president because the what they call stipend and the travel
The per
allowance.
diem,
That's
the
why he's
travel per
fighting.
diem.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
you know, instead of staying back and doing his job, they all want to be on the president. Look at how when the president traveling, they're all fighting to get on the trip.
Of course.
The people don't do their jobs. Where is this country going? When we talk these things, then people think it's about George. It has nothing to
Hmm.
do with we are gonna be gone. At the end of the day, you the lieutenants around you don't want to be looking for job because will not look for job again.
No, he
After
has
George we
already.
are after George we had 10 years as a president, whether 6 or 12 years, he's set for life. He will
Yeah.
not work again. You are the same recyclable lieutenants that we want to be from government to government. We see them again. Some of them were Ellen did not find a way into we are scam.
Hmm.
This is the vicious circle that we have to deal with. This is the issue we have to deal with. And some of they say, oh, brain drain in the society. Do you know how many Liberians here in the diaspora? Of course, not all of us have developed ourselves to be credible enough to go back home and so and help to develop and sustain our country. I won't say all of us have done that,
No, but a
but
good
this is
number of
why
us.
we need to create an avenue to attract the best Liberians here with the heart of gold and dedication to the country and be able to do what they got to do, go there and assimilate and work. Find the good ones on the grounds. There are some very good Liberians on the grounds who have been sidelined.
Oh yeah, because
Sidelined
they are
because they
not
mean good
they
for
are
the
not part
country.
of the ruling party.
Yes, they mean good for the country. Very good for the country. You
Hmm.
got very much good educated local Liberians who did not travel, but they love the country, or only because they don't have political ties and affiliation,
Hmm.
so they cannot get, a decent job.
Hmm.
And these guys just sit around, play chuckles and ludo and life wasted and time passed them by with the
Hmm.
hope that somebody will come to make that change. Let's take this caller quick.
Sure.
Hello, caller. From a 2-3, lower your monitor, please, caller. It's a little loud. From a two three or
Hold on one
one.
second.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good. Come in. You're calling from where? Minnesota?
I'm calling from Minneapolis. Volcano, how you doing? Moses Sandy, how you doing?
I'm against
I'm grateful for the opportunity tonight. And this Volcano, this is your GM brother, Bloje Kono. Moses, this is your GM brother, Bloje Kono, calling from Minneapolis.
You're talking about
Bridget,
the
it's a
inaugural
pleasure to have you.
Yeah, Volcano,
Okay.
definitely.
Come in.
I,
Come in.
I, I'm grateful to God for the privilege, but thank you so much again for another great show tonight. What all you guys are saying, you are absolutely right. We have refused to do what is right, and that's the reason why our nation has not turned out well. And you guys say a lot of good things tonight. And one of the most important things I would like to touch on is that we continue to condone people in our society that we should not condone. But it's about time. As for Bloje Kono, I've said to myself, look, I will not condone individuals who are not competent, who are not qualified to serve in certain capacity. I will not support them. I will not advocate for them. I don't care who they are. You may be Hillary Kono or Amos Kono or John Kono. I will not advocate for you. This is the time that we need to be very fair enough. I say to my cousin Joe Mills, look, Joe, if you're not qualified to serve in certain capacity in Liberia, I will not be the one to go out there and advocate for you. And Burkina, this is the time that we need to say, look, what do we want for Liberia? And what we want for Liberia, we must be able to see it in those individuals that we want to elect or that we may advocate for to be elected in those various capacity, especially those policy drilling capacity, those areas where people play very significant role in shaping our policy and shaping the destiny of our country. We need to be very careful moving forward who we elect in those various positions. And when it comes to sincerity, we need to put a system in place that will hold people accountable.
Yeah.
You and myself live in the Western world. We have had the privilege to work in the Western world for over 10, 15, 20 years of our life. We have served in different capacities. And we have seen how this society has become very successful and is functioning very well and very effective. And the reason why is not because the Americans are exceptional than us or they are better or they have a certain skill set that we don't have. No, it's all about system. I come from a system, you know what I mean, a mindset. I am, educated, trained system engineer, and I understand that it takes a very successful system for you to run a very successful society. Yeah. And in conclusion, I would recommend a book my senior brother Moses and Burkina want you to read. It's called The Logic of Failure. The Logic of Failure is a good book to read. It was written by two Israeli psychologists who helped to restructure Israel after World War II that made Israel a very prosperous nation. It's a very great book to read. It will tell you that, look, if you don't have a structural system in place and you don't set strategies and implement those strategies with objectives and have the right individuals, skillful, trained professionals who can implement those strategies, who can implement those plans, who you can hold accountable, that society will fail. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of society it is. Even right in the great United States of America, you can build a system or build a structure. If you do not put the right skillful or trained individual in place, and you put inept individual to serve in those various capacities, that system will not function well. It will become a failure. And that's what happened in Liberia. We want in conclusion, I would say this. We're putting people into offices that they are not qualified to serve in, just as you said, but people who can cause laws, people who will come and cause law all day long, but you will see no dividends of their laws causing. Secondly, we don't have a structure in place to say this is how we want our society to function. You need to put a structure in place and say this is how we want our society to function, and these are the objectives, and these are the timelines to achieve the objectives. These things are not happening. And until these things can happen, our society will continue to be a failure. Thank you.
Thank you, Bloje. Thank you. And you had the last word here for the callers tonight. I I think he made some very important points. Moses,
He did.
we in deep trouble, man. When I say this all the time, it's not it's the absolute truth. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. We continue to say, "Oh, the war." But if you and I had blamed the war, we'd be sitting stranded in Monrovia on Broad Street.
Yeah.
You remember our days? I saw one of your picture, my man. You were looking at Skellington during our media days. I mean, the
All
struggle was easy.
right.
How can you work for LBS for 1 year, 6 months with no? I left 1 year, 6 months salary in Liberia.
Oh yeah, but LBS was only 2 years.
Ah, okay.
When I left, yeah, two
1 year,
years.
6 months. You hear
2 years,
I
yeah.
left.
Yes. Yes,
You hear
only
me?
2 years. Yeah,
So
but go
to
ahead.
tell you the truth, yeah. So we didn't blame our own, because each individual is the individual. Put it that way.
Mhm. Yeah.
I look at the situation. I said, "Listen, man, I gotta hustle and get out of here some kind of way, you know, because they didn't look like we're getting anywhere."
Yeah.
And honestly, we had to. But now that we've gotten experienced, qualified, competent, educated, and we're aging, we're not babies anymore.
No, we're
We
not.
want to go back home to contribute. I don't have to. I don't have to have political alignment and political affiliation to serve my country. I don't. It shouldn't be
It shouldn't.
because I work here in America. Nobody. I don't. If I don't tell people I'm a Republican or a Democrat,
Nobody cares.
and even if I said it, they would just laugh at me. Especially at the time when Donald Trump was president, he say he's Republican, people say we're gonna Christian man, you know. But that's the truth. We need we need is a government that is serious about tapping into the diaspora and bringing the right people. Don't just bring anybody because most of the guys here, they buy the degrees, they're going home to go hustle. So
Yeah.
that's why you're not getting anything back from them. And not to condemn everyone, but the truth is, many of the folks who go to Liberia to go there to hustle. How can you leave America to go to your country to hustle? I left Liberia to come here to hustle.
To
Then
go
when
back.
we here can go back to Liberia to hustle
Yeah.
because I'm looking for government job.
Hmm.
That's a disservice to the country. That's not fair to the country. Honestly, that's not fair to the country. You should
I
be
agree.
leaving from here to go and give back. And some of us are given back in many ways, many subtle ways.
Oh yeah.
Subtle ways we've given back over the years we've been here. You
Yeah.
know,
Creating job opportunities for people, you know. Look, the way forward, like we said earlier, the whole thing about giving jobs to individuals are because of political connections, political patronage, or Volcano and I were together, so it means that he must get the job, whether he has the skills or not. That's not the way to proceed. Our political leaders need to be honest with themselves and Liberia. Yes, people should be able to benefit if they lend you political support. However, when appointments are being made in government, Those appointments should be based on merit. You cannot hire someone with 4 associate degrees and you make this man deputy minister of information for press and public affairs.
But
Then
I
how
read
do you expect the information ministry to move forward?
the man posted that he resigned from politics. But I say, did he have a career in politics before he would resign from politics? But let the our
Yeah,
man.
no, but
The man,
the point
the
I'm
man
trying
got
to
a
make
message.
here,
The man
uh,
got a message from it.
the point I'm trying to make here is cronyism
Yeah,
should have no place in government. Political patronage should have no place in government. Let our people use the merit system. When
absolutely.
you hire qualified people and you really put in place structures that will put Liberia first, Liberia will become a place of interest and people will migrate to Liberia. Liberia is a beautiful country. All we need to do is to put the structures in place, improve on our image at home and abroad. I think Volcano, that's what we need.
You said something. Liberia is a
Mhm,
beautiful country.
mhm.
I've been to many of the places in Liberia. Nothing but greenery. We ain't got no desert.
No,
We ain't got no barren land.
no,
We got 350 miles of territorial waters, some of the finest rivers on the continent. I'm talking about massive rivers,
yeah,
fish,
mhm,
kiss meat. You understand me? Snail. I mean, the country is so blessed, but just given to the wrong people.
wrong people,
And
yeah.
then the people that say, "Oh yeah, I pray to God. Hey God, when you give me anything here, I will ready push that country for." They kind of just sit down in a wheelchair. Then they want somebody to come push them. Our
Yeah,
leaders are in wheelchair.
yeah. It's
You
all about
understand?
themselves.
They're in wheelchair. They want somebody to come and push them. You
Yeah,
know, the country
yeah,
is beautiful, gorgeous, natural, picturesque views and locations, and I believe even we have untapped territories in Liberia we haven't really seen. Only the
mhm.
local people know those little hidden gems and secrets. We haven't really seen that country, the beauty of that country. Then the country is endowed with wealth,
Resources, yeah. Mhm.
and then we still
Liberia is a
lack.
rich country.
Then we allow foreigners to come and drain our country. And then few guys sit at the table, the privilege to be in the room, and then they just feel they have arrived. And then
Mhm.
they're sitting there, say they're signing a memorandum of
I
understanding,
understand, yeah.
putting, the bill before. Then they say, okay, my man, for the president to sign it and put it into law and put 2.5 million here. Then the president said, but if I gave you 2.5 million, then why would start a business? And that person just pack a bag and leave.
Yeah.
Those are the kinds of people that go in the room to represent your country. They don't
Mhm.
have no desire. Moses, between me and you, I got no reason to be corrupt.
No, you got no reason.
I got no reason to be corrupt.
No, you're comfortable.
I got no reason to be corrupt.
You're comfortable. You
In
know?
as much as when I was growing up, I didn't have it. I still look good. I still
So,
was. I still could afford what I needed, my needs.
yeah.
I still could afford that. I have grown through my manhood. So what's there? What's so much? I've seen what corruption have done to people.
Of
I have
course.
seen it. I know people here tonight would think that, oh, I'm just talking because I want to talk. No, I have
No, I
seen what
mean,
corruption have done to people.
yeah.
You amass all of these things, and the next day, by the snap of the finger,
You're
God
gone.
takes you, and all of this left.
Everything is vanity.
How many of our government officials did not leave money in offshore accounts that today we don't know of?
Hmm.
How many of our government officials, our past presidents, did not leave money in the Swiss bank,
Yeah.
in developed world? Properties the board, homes that you and I cannot account for because we have no clue.
Yeah.
So that's what corruption does. It deprives the people. I'd rather me have electricity and my neighbor has electricity. But now I alone have electricity and then I feel good going to bed at night with air conditioner beating the man, the mosquito slapping him all night.
Yeah.
And I can make it happen for him to have electricity. You understand me?
And
You got government officials in communities that are in the dark. but they build a fence higher
Mm-hmm.
than the Eiffel Tower, and they got electricity, but the neighbors are in the dark.
Done. Mm-hmm.
But the generator that you're running, the fuel that you're putting in that generator, that public taxpayer money.
Of course.
So why you can just give it to the people around you? Do one good for the next man in your neighborhood. Where are
I
the
agree.
days when officials of government, were taking, kids and sponsoring them, putting them through school? Where are the days? I'm not saying maybe it's not happening.
But it's all about politics right now. It's all about politics. The guys will give the scholarship to even pay the tuition. That becomes another issue. So most of the scholarships some of our political leaders are giving out there, those are not good scholarships. They are not dependable. They don't pay the tuitions. They just make this big impression. We gave 200,000. I mean, we gave 200 scholarships. Go to those universities or go to those schools where the scholarships are being offered at.
Okay, bro.
They don't pay.
We gotta wrap up.
Yeah, So to wrap it, I would just say that hey, we need to do well in terms of good governance, and that's our greatest problem. Bad governance is eroding the image of Liberia. We need true leaders in our country. That's how I would like to wrap it up.
And somebody just said that too. Samuel Sakama says, create the conditions. People will move back. People will visit Liberia. We need real leadership.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Moses.
It
Thank
was
you.
a pleasure. Thank you too, Vakana.
Great topic here tonight. We looked at why African Americans, Black African Americans, are moving to Ghana rather than Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, the Gambia. We see that that country has kind of branded itself as the place where people can go because they're going to be safe, as the place where people can go because they'll be given the right to live a decent life free of threat, free of violence. The security apparatus is put in place, good governance. Um, they've been given the opportunity to be citizens and to work in Ghana, and that is why Liberia continue to fight against dual citizenship for their own Liberians who were born in Liberia, denying them the right to be citizens in their own country, uh, taking all of the positions and sharing it among themselves. You can't be minister, you can't be deputy, you can't be this, you can't be that because you got citizenship in another country. So how are we gonna go anywhere when blocking the people? And somebody said the last time it all because of envy and jealousy, because some of the folks who have come to the diaspora have developed themselves and want to go back to the country to contribute. But those guys who are there who love the corruption, they don't want to give way. They just want to be in a position and in power. But anyway, that's the reason why we have said that good governance will make the difference. Respect the rule of law, uh, create the economy in a way that the incentives can be spread across the board. Create electricity, bring back electricity, bring back water, bring back roads, bring back all of the things that make a country, a country. We can, that's why Yeka Koluba said Liberia is an era. It's not a country, it's just an era. It may sound funny, but sometimes that's what it comes across as. So again, we say it doesn't have to start where we are government, and it doesn't have to end where we are government. It has to be a conglomerated approach. The Liberian people have to come together and mean well, because I said that corruption starts at the foundation, and it claims up to the top. Again, thanks so much for being there, Emmanuel Weirgata. Thanks for coming in, Samuel Sakama, Thomas Awaji. Always a pleasure to have you in the room, my brother. Charles Crawford, you stopped by tonight. We say welcome. Thank you for being here, Emmanuel Jackson, Bloja Kono. good perspective you put forth tonight. We encourage you to come back again. Continue to share the link, share the word. The issues room is here where we discuss the issues that matters, the things that matter, particularly to Liberia and the Black diaspora. Emmanuel Conway, Elijah Conway, rather. Thanks for coming in. My name is Volcano Shelton. We'll be back here on Tuesday, God's willing. Thanks for being in the issues room. I'll see you. Moses will see you. Hopefully, Massa will be back with us. Thank you so much.